Go. Alright, T. Welcome back to Lenz Comic Corner, Classic Us Known Classics. This is episode number 3182, Doubleshot 3076. This is the first of 3 straight comic corners, and also, here's a little fun fact with these ones. We're wrapping up 2 runs. This will wrap up 1 run, the next one gonna get wrapped up. 2 videos in this one. So, first we have is the final volume for Tom Taylor's run for Nightwing, which I got for Comic Day. Called Nightwing, they call this volume 7, it should be like volume 8. This is Fallen Grayson. Roughly a 5-issue story arc. Yes. Oh, a little fun fact about the finale for this book for some weird reason. Like, I'm not sure why the heck this happened for when it comes to Nightwing. This has happened, I think, like once before with Doctor Strange. Okay, so this arc, the first issue, 114, was released in May of 2024, last year, mind you. Second was released in June, last year. Third issue, July. 4th issue, August. And then, for some weird reason, the finale for the story was delayed by 2 months. Yes, believe it or not, 119, was released literally I kid you not, roughly within 2 weeks of each other. I thought this was really weird. Not sure what was up with the hiatus between issues. Yeah, by the way, the current writer is Dan Walters. Yes. Yes. As for why the heck this one took the month off, I have no idea. Was there an end released in that period of time? You're probably thinking, what was the end that came out in 2024? No, that came out in April. And I discussed in the previous trade for this one. You think, okay. There was a one-shot called Nightwing Uncovered released that period of time. But that was literally a cover gallery. Yes, it was literally just all about the covers. It's all about the artwork for Nightwing, not an official story. Yeah, so they delayed a whole month for this finale. Just release a one-shot. Now, why in the world the finale was actually delayed, I don't know. I have not asked Tom Taylor about this. I could tweet about this on Twitter, but I highly doubt he would answer because, and this is my personal guess, he probably doesn't have time because he's probably busy doing Detective Comics now, which we'll discuss at some other point. So, for of course, written by Tom Taylor. The artist, Bruno Rodaldo. He has been the regular artist of this book since this run started. Yes. I kid you not. This guy has been the regular artist of this book. You're probably thinking, has he missed a couple issues during this whole run for Nightwing? Run started in 70, which we'll discuss later. And you're probably thinking, did he miss an issue? He missed 84, 85. He also missed 90, 91, 101 to 104, 106 to 112. So a run that lasted, let's see, 10, see, 10, 20, roughly 31 issues. And he missed a grand total 2, 3, 4, 8. Let's see, 8 plus 7, 15 issues. Yep, 31 issue run, and he missed 15 issues. So he did roughly about 50% of this run. But it's good the fact that he came back for this final story because it's the end of an era. An era that lasted for 3 years. Yep, a 3-year run. We started out with basically a flashback to the Graysons when they're basically practicing the trapeze act. We have him practicing for it too. Then we see with the snow with a beard. There's a reason for that. So, then we deal with the main villain of this run, Heartless. Yep, Heartless. Those who don't know who the heck Heartless is, he's a villain who Tom Taylor created for this run, where he is literally the main bad guy of this run, who has a past with Nightwing, and his gimmick is that he moves hearts, like he's basically playing Mortal Kombat. So, he's also got people working for him because thanks to blackmail because they have their kids. So now he goes on patrol. He goes to party with Barbara Gordon. Or we didn't see the Alpha Foundation, which was established in issue 100 of this thing. Well, the guests are Bruce Wayne and his son Damian. And then we introduced to Sheldon Lyle. Yeah. A character who only exists in this run. Yes. And here's the thing about this guy. Every time this guy has shown up, who has been the primary writer writing this guy's appearances? If you're really curious, who is responsible for writing this character's entire, like, everything pretty much related to this character? The answer is Tom Taylor. Yes, because this guy Heartless, who is, I mean, some might see him as basically a knockoff of a character Tomasi created, where he was a serial killer who basically just wore faces of famous people. So, then of course he questioned about stuff that he had nothing to do with. Of course, Heartless shows up. And of course he gets everybody at the party. At one point in the story, Dick Grayson is framed. Yes, he is framed. Oh, by the way, Heartless knows the fact he's actually Nightwing. Like, not fun with his mask. And then the EMT is killed right near him. Yep. So, at one point, basically, of course, people think that Dick Grayson is Heartless, but no, he's not. It's a frame-up job. So basically, he ends up fleeing the city. And by the way, he breaks his handcuffs. Yep. As soon as he wakes up, he wakes up, breaks his handcuffs, and of course, he leaves town. So he goes to Tibet, where he runs into the frickin' dead man, which makes sense given the fact he's known it for a long time. And of course, Titans try to get involved here, and it's like, so then Bruce Wayne takes up the Batman costume and becomes Nightwing. Yes, he becomes Nightwing for the very first time because Bloodhaven needs Nightwing, so let's do that. So we have Dick Grayson just getting back into shape to deal with Heartless. And he's like very sad. Eventually he does come back to town to deal with Heartless. Oh yeah, and by the way, it's revealed that they're fighting Tony Zuko, who's in this run. It's revealed that his parents were actually not supposed to die. It was actually supposed to be him, because according to the flashback, he had injured himself prior to the famous performance that killed the John and Mary Grayson. So it turns out he was one supposed to die. So, and of course Heartless thinks he's like a big thing, and of course you have Damian, Tim, and Costa, which is always so awesome. We also see Cassie and Stephanie in their Batgirl costumes. more awesomeness. And of course, basically, Heartless with his people, and of course, Dick goes to Heartless. Turn around and leave here. I don't think there's a Heartless. You try to frame me because you want to hurt the city, but people are sadly all too used to lies. They are resilient. They had to be. I know you are. I know who you are, Nightwing, and I know who you are, Sheldon. Yep. Brief his consequences as a public entity. Are you? Hold on, take this. Yep. So yeah, basically the Bat family frees the kids. So then Heartless people just turns on him, basically turns into a handicap match where it's like 20-on-1. You have Nightwing fighting Heartless, and then eventually Tony Zuko had to fight with Dick Grayson's dog. Also, apparently, Tony Zuko ends getting apparently killed by Dick Grayson. And by the way, he apparently doesn't like us. He hates him. Basically, Dick thinks because Dick thinks Sheldon is so full of himself, thinking he'd be so famous because he's heartless. He's like, nah, we're not going to connect you two. You're going to be nameless. You're going to be forgotten. He's like, no! And he dies with his mask on. And he goes to his parents' graves, and that's that. Now, this was a pretty good end to this run, and I'm going to give this book roughly a 9 out of 10. Yep. So, by the way, I do own the entire Tom Taylor run. Starting with Leaping into Light, which I collected issues for some reason. Not list on here for some weird reason, but this one had collected issues 78, 83 of Nightwing. Then you had the Fierce Day tie-in, which collected 84 to 86, Nightwing in the first annual of this run, and the story of urban legends. I still like to put the years on there. Then we have the third trade, technically they say it's Volume 2, actually third trade, which they collected issues 87, 91, and Superman Snipe Callow number 9. Because, of course, Tom Taylor was writing that book at the time, so that's why he included it. Then we had Volume 4, Battle of Blood and Hammond's Heart, which I collected issues 92 and 96. Volume 5, this is Volume 4, 9700, and the second annual for this run. Actually, more like the 5th annual. Then you had this book here, Time for Titans, 10105, which people call these issues the backdoor power to Tom Taylor's very short Titans run. Then you have one I recently did a review for, which was Standing on the Edge, which collected issues 106, 109, and 111, 113. Yeah, 110 is actually in the Titans Beast World trade. And then you have this one. And that's it. I do think the run is quite interesting. I don't think it's terrible as some people might say it is. There's some gripes I've had with this run. For starters, when this run started, we had Ronald Desmond show up, where he's looking like the way he did pre-Flash, where he's a lot more beefier than he previously appeared. Because, here's the weird thing. Prior to the start of this run, Ronald Desmond had been in jail. He had been in jail since Tim Seeley's time of the book. Yes, believe it or not, that's how long he's been in jail. And then he shows up here, no mention he's been in jail, no mention of it at all. And the way he's written in here is like he's written to be like the way Chuck Dixon wrote Blockbuster back in the 90s. He's a big bulky guy, he's doing all this stuff. Weird enough, Ronald Desmond, in case you're curious, like, by the way, Tony Zuko is confirmed to be dead with these issues. Yes, Tony Zuko, the guy who made his debut in issue 0 for this era, and then he gets killed off in the finale for this run. My guess is that the reason why they did this By the way, also, they introduced this run, uh, Melinda Grayson Lynn. Yes. Who they introduced at the start of this run. She's actually Dick Grayson's half-sister. Which result was an affair between a woman named May Lynn, who was, well, dated John Grayson. Oh yeah, and also the fact that Melinda is a lesbian. Yes. Well, it's fine. The main reason why I don't have a problem with this because it's original creation, so it's not exactly a really big hassle, in my honest opinion, per se. Yeah. Yeah, but the thing, like I said, the thing with this run is, it's like, okay, it's like the way that Tom Taylor is writing this run is like, yeah, let's just pretend what was going on with this era, basically during Tim Seeley's run for Nightwing. Let's just pretend that didn't happen. Yes. Because I should point out, though, he was arrested in issue 34, which came out in December of 2017. He did make a brief cameo in issue 68. I think it was just a flashback, but he made his proper return at the start of this run in March of 2011. First time in 4 years. Now you're probably thinking, like, is there a mention here about what happened during Tim Seeley's run? No. Not at all. It's like, oh, by the way, yes, we didn't choose the character of Nightwing's dog, which is fine. I had no problem with the dog itself. It's a perfectly good addition to the character. And if you're really curious, does the 16 Red keep the dog in the book? He does. Yep, he does. Excuse me. It's like, the best way to describe Nightwing, he's been very inconsistent a lot of the time. Basically, it's like whatever. Like, I would say it's almost just as bad as how Green Arrow was written over the course period from 2011 to 2018. Yeah, that 9-year period. It's like whatever writer wrote the book, it's like fresh new take. Let's just ignore what the previous writers established for no reason. And that's been the vibe with this run. This whole era. The first 118 issues here. It's like, whatever comes on board, let's just forget about all these great supporting characters that we spent time developing. Yeah, let's just ignore it for no reason. By the way, they had one commissioner to start this run. Commissioner McKeown, who is probably named after else. But here's the weird thing they might find interesting. Did you know that they decided to bring in Maggie Sawyer to this book? Yes. For some weird reason, I'm not sure why in the world that Tom Taylor thought this was a good idea. Okay, so this woman had appearing for, I'd say since around 2006, have been appearing in the Batman titles. And then for some weird reason, after Batman Robin Eternal, actually after the end of this volume 2 for Batman, it's like, let's move back over to Superman and do nothing. No, seriously, they moved back over to Superman very, very briefly. Yeah, her time in this book, basically in the Superman books, her return to Superman was very brief. She was featured a little bit during Bendis' run, and then basically the character was completely forgotten about by the time this run ended. And then, like, someone at DC was like, "Ooh, I know what we can do. Let's put over Nightwing for reasons and have him be a recurring character throughout these some of the run, but not all of it. As a matter of fact, she made a recent issue 122, which I think was the most recent issue that came out for this book. Well, one of the more recent issues. So I'm kind of like, okay, so here's a question though. Why put her over in Superman and then did nothing with the character? Yeah, Bendis did nothing. It's like somebody had begged Bendis, can you please include Maggie's story because she is technically a Superman character over your title? Because they're going to probably reestablish all the police department stuff because of his connection to police department. And I guess he's like, okay, but I'm not going to use it very much because I just looked it up. She's only featured in like a small handful of issues throughout Bendis' time writing Action Comics. And I guess someone must have remembered she existed, so I guess like, oh, I know, let's dump her over in Nightwing because she's in Bloodhaven. So in a period of about 6 years, let's have her move from Gotham City to Metropolis and then move to Bloodhaven. I don't know why, it's weird. Speaking of Gotham City, we have Batman Detective Comics by Ranvi, Volume 4, Gotham Nocturne, Intermezo, Batman Outlaw, which collects issues 1076 to 1080. Ranvi is your primary writer. The backup writer is Dan Walters. Your artist is, surprisingly, one artist is Ranvi himself, Jason Sean Alexander. Liam Sharp, met this guy, awesome guy. Mike Perkins, met him too. Casper Wingard, Christopher Mitten, and Juan Ferrer. The cover right here, that's Evan Cagle. So let's continue this. By the way, I actually had orders from Amazon because I thought that because I didn't see this book there at the Free Comic Day, so I figured, oh, Miller Comics has issues ordering these books lately, so I figured get this from Amazon. So we start out basically in the Arkham City ruins where Batman's beheld, and for some reason, I'm not sure why, they drawing Batman symbol in this book to look like Sam Keefe's bat symbol. Not sure why they went with Sam Keefe's one, but they did. So, lots of horror stuff here. He's possessed by a demon. And by the way, the main villain to this run is basically the Organ family. So, yes, we have Slade Kyle appearing here too. And then we see Detective Gordon. Yes. Where he's hanging out here with Selene Kyle, who, by the way, is wearing these belt buckles. And no, that's not her Catwoman costume. That's basically what she decided to put on outside of her Catwoman costume for reasons. So, then there's a barroom fight, and of course, Selena basically goes to see, find out where Batman is. And then we have Azrael show up. Yeah, this is all the Azrael stuff here is usually done by Dan Walters. And shockingly, now, I look at this outfit here. Now, I'm thinking, like, I look at this outfit, like, is that Joe Quesada's design? I have to look up on here for this one because, I'm thinking, look at this costume here. Let's see. Oh my gosh, this is the Joe Quesada costume. Which is shocking he's wearing this outfit. Oh yeah, definitely. It is quite interesting. The fact that somehow artists in modern day could draw this, but yet artists in the 90s could not draw this and had to alter the costume. We see him fighting people here, and then we see Jim talking to, I think it's Selena. Actually, no, that's actually, because we artists, I can't really tell. That's actually supposed to be Renee Montoya, a.k.a. The Question. And the Catwoman, in this costume here, not the costume Howard gave her, goes to visit Poison Ivy, asks for her help to deal with this stuff. By the way, Log Cabin House, that's not the Poison Ivy series. And for some weird reason, the artists think that this is what she looks like. So let's basically draw a bunch of mushrooms on her. For no reason. And then all the stuff going on here, then we see Renee put on her costume again in this book. And also we see Azrael, he basically opens up a cosmic key. That's basically a question story. And then we see I kid you not. Vengeance working with Father Valley. Father Valley is a creation of Ram V, and he told me this. This character is based upon a priest from the movie Hot Fuzz. Yes, seriously. You think of the color of the art, I think this is, like, who does this artwork here? This artwork is it's really kind of interesting. Let's see. This artwork is done by Liam Sharp. Yes, where they find some sword stuff here, more so Azrael. He's basically jumping out. And then the issue ends, the story ends with him finding his Nightfall costume. Yes! I'm like, okay, interesting. Then we have the Summer's Lamont. This is basically more Ram V stuff. It's a quick 2-page story about Dr. Hurt. Yes. And then move on to 1077. You have Batman hanging to the gallows for reasons. I'm thinking, wait a minute, it's a 21st century. Why the heck is he hung? I don't know. So then, of course, Catwoman goes to contact, I kid you not, Cheshire and this girl here, who is actually Leanne under a mask. Yes, Leanne Harper. They call her Shoes, but yeah, it's Leanne. And then, of course, we see Mr. Freeze. Love the artwork here. And it's weird artwork here with the... Are you crazy with the weird hit figures? Like, yes. All because, basically, of course, Selene is working, trying to free him, of course. This is a where basically you have Bruce and Selene on a rooftop. That's about to be bit by a wolf. It is so cool here. And then, of course, we have Leanne show up here. And then we have Solomon freaking Grundy. Oh, my gosh. That's so funny. He's quoting his own poem. And then we have her trying to kill some people. But, yeah, I thought this scene was quite interesting. They call her Shoes, but everybody can tell by looking at this girl, that's Leanne Harper. Yes, that is Leanne Harper. And Ram V is the one who brought in the current continuity, so thank you, Ram V, for bringing back a character that a lot of people love and should not have been killed off and grabbed for justice. Yeah, I'm not sure why they don't call her Leanne here, despite the fact it clearly is Leanne. Like, because here's the weird thing. She was occasionally featured in the... I think this came out either just prior or just after the start of these issues here. Prior, just after the start of the... before Joshua Williamson brought back Green Arrow. So yeah, about to be hung. And we got Cheshire Cat, and of course, they free him. And then we see Cassandra Cain, Batgirl. We're being a bunch of bad guys here. Does winking to the camera. We hear her still working with Mr. Freeze, which that's not unusual because Mr. Freeze did actually appear for a couple of stories of her first ongoing. And then you see Azrael here in the Bat Azrael suit. Which, fun little fact about this suit. This actually was the first new suit ever in DC Comics since the end of the original Azrael series. Because that was the last Azrael ever wore this costume. Because he put it back on during the last year of that book. And I found it interesting, the fact that first we actually have Azrael drawn like the way Joe Quesada drew back in Maze. But then we have the Batman suit that Azrael wore during Nightfall. Then we have... I kid you not, we actually have the other Catwoman. Yes, the other Catwoman. Let's see if I can find her name here. Eco. Yes, I thought this was interesting. The fact that she's actually featured here for these 3 issues. You're thinking, really? Yeah, I guess Ram V decided to include her. Now, no, Ram V did not create her. Not at all. I only guessed that he included her because she's a friend of Selena Kyle that like just briefly dated her, and we have basically Batman being hung like all his last week is Batman got hung, and we have Cheshire fighting more guards, Mr. Freeze, with lots of fighting here. We have a wolf biting Bat Azrael, which is interesting. Lots of fighting here. We have Solomon Grundy trying to help out here. And then we see... I don't know who this guy is here. Yeah, I was right. So Sumiko is impersonating Catwoman, but yeah. Yeah. So of course Tally gets involved here too, because why not? And then it turns out that Bruce actually is alive in the whole Voyage of Light stuff. Yes, that happened at the end of 1079. And then move on to the finale of these issues here, where we have Jim Gordon driving a van. It's like, yeah, the Organ family, of course, and you have Two-Face. Like, Two-Face, you say hidden. Like, you say hidden, Dent. My name is Two-Face. Go on, Catwoman, get out of here. And, of course, yeah, the Organ family trying to control Gotham. And then you have this very interesting scene here. Two women who love Bruce Wayne. He's standing right there on the ground. And I'm like, dude, you lucky bastard. You got these two women are basically just staring at each other like, Selena's like, Talia Ghul. Talia's like, Selena Kyle. Yeah. They both look the same man, despite the fact that, here's the interesting thing, both these women have both given him a child apiece. Talia basically birthed Damian, Selena, because they confirmed this in this timeline thanks to her in the future, gave birth to Elena Wayne, aka the Huntress. And they're reluctantly working together because, well, they love both the same man. And then we have Simon Hurt be here too. Yes, Simon Hurt. Along with the Pink Flamingo! Yes! The former cannibal. And we have basically the book end with like, oh yeah, let's basically try to... We have Renee Montoya at the grave of Alfred Penny where he put on her mask. And then we have this little thing with this dream sequence focused on, looks like Robin. I'd say it's probably Damian. And the book just wakes up. The book is called Alicia. And that's pretty much the book in a nutshell. Very interesting book. Yep, it's Damian. It's all dream sequence. But yeah, great set of issues. Now, I have heard people don't like this run per se because they thought it was too lengthy. But this book is just awesome. It feels like a regular Batman book. It's just so good. Plus, probably a good bonus for this book. We see Azrael drawn in the Joe Quesada costume, and we also see Azrael as more his Batman costume, which is so awesome. I give this book a 9 out of 10. So good. Okay, so that's pretty much a particular view. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Turn notifications. Next up, two more comic, okay? See you. Bye.